Man and Technics by Oswald Spengler is a book that is as profound as it is depressing. Originally published in 1931, Man and Technics is a follow-up to Spengler's magnum opus, a gargantuan tome titled The Decline of the West. Upon receiving feedback for The Decline of the West, Spengler was disappointed to find that the majority of his audience did not grasp a key aspect of the book's message, and remained optimistic about the future. To remedy this, Spengler decided to write Man and Technics. The Arctos reprint of the book begins with a preface by the Swedish writer Lars Holger Holm, who eloquently summarizes Oswald Spengler's view of history. To Spengler, history is cyclical as opposed to linear, and governed throughout by the forces of destiny. Furthermore, a distinguishing trait of Spengler's literature is that he viewed the history of the West as a grand cosmic drama, which was destined to end in tragedy. Nowhere is his pessimism more apparent than in the final and most famous passage of the book. To quote, "Time cannot be stopped. There is absolutely no way back, no wise renunciation to be made. Only dreamers believe in ways out. Optimism is cowardice. We are born in this time and must bravely follow the path to the destined end. There is no other way. Our duty is to hold on to the lost position, without hope, without rescue. To hold on like that Roman soldier whose bones were found in front of a door in Pompeii, who died because they forgot to relieve him when Vesuvius erupted. That is greatness. That is to have race. This honorable end is the one thing that cannot be taken from man." Upon reading this passage, the reason for the book's cover art becomes clear. Just as the Roman legionnaire did his duty despite staring down certain doom, Spengler advises that we resign ourselves to being like thespians who play the roles that destiny has chosen for us in the grand tragedy of life. Needless to say, all of this is extraordinarily blackpilling, and one might ask why Spengler is so pessimistic. The answer, as the title of the book implies, has to do with technics. In Spengler's own words, technics is the tactics of all life. It is not so much a thing as it is a mode of being. Many people find this description to be vague and hard to understand, so Spengler clarifies what technics means through example. Consider a lion who stalks, hunts, and eats gazelles in the savannah, or a captain who navigates a ship on the ocean. Technics is the purposeful strategy that each employs to be successful and accomplish a task. The lion's goal is to eat, and it has sharp teeth to use as tools, but the lion's technics is the process of stalking a prey, pouncing, and devouring it, so that the lion can survive. Likewise, the captain's goal is to traverse the ocean and reach a destination, and his tools are a ship, a compass, maps, and a sextant. But the captain's technics is the purposeful intent behind the use of the tools in order to fulfill the goal. Steering consciously and charting his route would be the captain's technics. While Spengler believed that every species of animal utilizes technics, what distinguishes man from all others is that man can use two different classifications of technics, which Oswald Spengler calls the techniques of the hand and the techniques of the eye. The techniques of the hand deals with the practical and is concerned with whether or not something is suitable or unsuitable for a situation. The techniques of the eye, in contrast, deals in the theoretical and is concerned with truth and ideas, not whether something is useful or not. To illustrate how man can use both types, Spengler talks about man's use of weapons. Man is capable not only of choosing his weapon, but he is also capable of customizing it to his own ideas and preferences. He is capable of recognizing the situations where a pike is more useful than a sword and vice versa. Also, he is capable of recognizing how different cultures prefer different blade shapes when smithing a sword. A broadsword, a katana, and a scimitar are all bladed weapons, but they are not the same, because the techniques of the eye selects for preference. Returning now to why Spengler held such a pessimistic view of history, recall his emphasis on destiny and his idea of history as being a grand cosmic drama. Spengler acknowledged that Faustian man has an innate drive to reach for higher things and harness nature around him for his own ends. Because of Faustian civilization's techniques, Europeans accomplished great feats, such as exploring the world, building cathedrals, and inventing complex technological marvels. For a time, European civilization flourished as a beacon of human accomplishment unrivaled by any other culture across the globe. But as the tragedy approaches its final act, Spengler predicted that, like Icarus, who flew too close to the sun, nature would exact its revenge on Faustian man, who would be enslaved to his own technology. The utilitarian, mechanizing techniques of the hand would have outsized influence, and the techniques of the eye, with its concern for truth and spiritual matters, would wane. As Spengler writes, "An artificial world is permeating and poisoning the natural. Civilization has itself become a machine that does, or tries to do, everything in a mechanical fashion. We think only in horsepower now. We cannot look at a waterfall without mentally turning it into electrical power. We cannot survey a countryside full of pasturing cattle without thinking of its exploitation as a source of meat supply. We cannot look at the beautiful old handwork of a lively and primitive people without wishing to replace it by a modern technical process." Nowhere is this sentiment felt so keenly as compared to the case of the Rhine River. The Rhine, which to the man of the eye is a symbol of German culture on a spiritual level, has been dammed up and is now seen by the German government as merely a way to transport goods and harness hydroelectric power. Of its value for being a beautiful, ancient symbol of Germany, not a word is spoken. This is the true black pill that Spengler wished to impart to his readers. While Spengler believed this was inevitable due to the techniques of Faustian man, notably, Spengler did not think that this end state of Faustian civilization could endure forever. To quote, "This machine technology will end with the Faustian civilization and will one day lie shattered and forgotten. Railways and steamships, as good as the old Roman roads and the Chinese wall, are giant cities with their skyscrapers, just like the old palaces of Memphis and Babylon." As European civilizations decay into ruin, Spengler theorized that industry would move to places like Asia and Africa. To him, there was no way of stopping the decline of Europe, and doing one's duty as Vesuvius erupts is the only thing that one could do. Optimism is cowardice. This concludes the analysis of Man and Technics. Many people offer criticism of Spengler's doomerism on the grounds that determinism is false and destiny is not preordained. Their position would be summed up by the phrase, "nothing is written," meaning that the future can be influenced by the actions of those who wish to shape it. Spengler would retort that they are cowards, and their position is cope. Whether Spengler is right or wrong is yet to be seen, but one thing is certain. No empire lasts forever, and even ones as vile as the current liberal global American empire, with its occupied European vassal states, cannot stand forever. No empire is immune to the cycles of history.